Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. So I don't have my crystal ball out, so I won't be scrying. Instead, we have Planty the Elder sitting here, and I'm not going to scry Planty the Elder. I do not use him that way. So we're just going to be using some cards, and tonight, because I think I'll be posting this on Friday, tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be having our addiction discussion event with a licensed chemical dependency counselor. And he's going to roll through with some story time, his own stories. He is going to share a couple of approaches to recovery. He's going to share some links that people can use if they need help and some resources. And yes, it's a free event on Zoom. And I am asking that if you're able to donate, or if you feel so willing to donate, that you please do so, because he's taking time out of a very busy schedule to come speak with us. And if you book your seat through the Buy Me a Coffee, please don't send that event link to other people. Please have them visit the Buy Me a Coffee to book their own space or book a space for them. The reason why is because I could only take out a webinar license for $500 for this event, so there is a limited amount of spaces. And due to that, for every link that you send out, there's a person who did book on the site who can't attend. So please be mindful of one another. And yes. Okay. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's begin. I have this deck out. I will link Steph in the description box below. She recently put out several decks, so I'll definitely have her shop linked. Okay, let's see. Taking a step aside and allowing spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Seeing like a heart, and then I'm seeing like butterfly wings around the heart. There's something here about transformation of a heart space, the lightning of a heart, which is, I think, is kind of a nice reprieve for many of you, especially if you went through that little anger period that we hit during Aries season. And for some of you, it was even prior to Aries season, leading up to it. One of the, oh, I'm hearing turn it. We have to turn it. Okay. Oh, I'm seeing this as a crown. But it's kind of interesting because I'm seeing this face, I'm seeing this crown in here, and then I'm seeing this thing here. And it's almost like what truly crowns you isn't the adornment of the crown. It's not the crown itself that crowns someone. It's their connection to the divine. It's their connection to humanity. When we have this seventh area opened up like that, it's a little bit different than, for example, the Earth Star. The Earth Star really speaks about our collective unconscious. It's the consciousness of Earth that moves through all of us. And connects us one to another. That's why we're like brothers and sisters here on planet Earth. But when we have the seventh, it's the divine. It's the divine connection that we all have. It's like the higher levels of connection, the cosmic connection that we all have. It kind of brings me back into the idea that a lot of the trace metals that you have inside of your body come from stars. And there's things that are inside of you that do not naturally occur on Earth. They occur because of stellar events. And this feels a little bit like somebody's remembering who they are, okay? Especially when we get that idea of the crown, that's our self-sovereignty. When we basically are not necessarily focused on the self-sovereignty so much as this divine connection sovereignty. This is a very beautiful energy. And I like that it's this light blue. Oh, look, I even picked it for my little Pliny planty here. It's this, when we have that color blue showing up, for example, in the aura, it really represents that someone has a healing energy moving through them, that something's being healed for them. So that brings me back to this heart with the wings, and I'm almost seeing that here too. It's like a heart space here with these wings. And so there's something here within the heart space that's opening up. I think a lot of you have been working through that for many years anyway. And you know, some of you, you're new to that, but most of the people on this channel have been working through heart space issues for many years. And I think a few days ago, I had the image of like the supernova come through where a star explodes, but it's in that explosion, it's in the cosmic dust settling that the new stars are born in some places. And this is kind of what I'm seeing in this heart space. It's like our heart was blown open by particular situations within our life. And it was in that dust settling period where we had to work through our own self-healing that we really kind of created a new sense of divinity within ourselves, a new like sense of self. I almost feel that for some of you, you may even have the feeling that prior to whatever situation, maybe you didn't really know yourself. For some of you, there may be things that you're trying to reclaim from that time. And I just had like the whole idea of Noah's Ark coming through. So like the idea of like salvaging various aspects of self after the aftermath of some sort of cataclysm inside of our life. More specifically, I'm being brought to the rainbow. So the rainbow is going to be very important for someone. Here, I see yes, just say yes. And this is really, when it's in conjunction to this card, notice the colors again. When it's in conjunction to this card and we have this pyramid shape showing up just like we did yesterday, which was about stepping into like the sacred spaces of self, this is really saying to me that someone in this opening up of the heart and the healing of the heart and the expansion that they're experiencing towards maybe their brothers and sisters here on earth that they haven't experienced for a while. Maybe you were angry at people for a while. Maybe you hated everyone for a while. That's a natural part of healing in a lot of cases. There's nothing wrong with that. And but in this space with the heart opening up, it's like we're learning how to reconnect. Whether you're actually going out and reconnecting or you're just finding that your heart is softening, there's definitely an energy of the heart softening inside the collective I've been reading for the last week or so. And with the yes, it's basically opportunities. There seem to be some opportunities that are opening up for someone, that are unfolding for somebody. And you may have already started seeing little echoes of that in your life. Maybe you've experienced full-blown opportunities coming towards you. This is a time to embrace those opportunities and to understand, you know, obviously picking them with discernment, but to understand that these new spaces that are opening up, even if it's something getting taken away, it's still an opportunity to create something new inside of your life. Seeing like an angel in here now. Ooh, and I'm seeing this as like a scarab. Okay. Okay, get grounded and trust your path. Again, that earth energy here. We even have the earth star that we were talking about, and then we have this beautiful like cosmic center that's opened at the very top, and it's all due to this higher heart area opening. And that's really what I'm feeling here, is that higher heart. When we talk about the heart chakra, one of the things that chakra is really representing is the giving and receiving. When we talk about the higher heart, that's our humanity love. That's our love for one another, our love for our fellow animals, the understanding that love is consciousness. That really runs through that center. So someone is really working through that energy right now. I'm being drawn to the roots here. You know, it's like roots run deep. And sometimes it's very hard to tell how deep a tree's roots actually grow. And we take the tree and we think, oh, it's just this tree. It's just like the top half. But what's really important is what's under the ground. So there's an emphasis on this in the collective unconscious. So that may be the space that someone is exploring. I find that a lot of people dive into that exploration once they tap into, for example, Lilith or Hecate. And you know, some of the other deities as well, but I know that those are two that really came out on this channel pretty hard last summer. And so if you were part of that collective, this may be the energy that you're going through right now. For some of you, I'm almost feeling like this Mary Magdalene vibe too. The reason why the feminine energy is stepping out a little bit more is just because that has to do with the earth. So, you know, you may be working with a more masculine energy, for example, like Shiva, in order to get connected to like those deep roots and to understand something that is behind the scenes in consciousness, or like to understand what consciousness is really about. And let's see, I am seeing a little bit of like that closing the eyes to the illusion, basically seeing past some sort of idea that we have held that has presented a block for us. Sometimes knowledge itself can present those blocks because we get so caught up in the pursuit of knowledge that we forget that you know, knowledge is for the 3D, that the spiritual is basically for. You don't have to resonate with this. It's just what I'm going to share. The spiritual is more like a field, and it's very amorphous, very abstract, and that the truths that we hold are not necessarily the truths that we would find here. And for somebody, there's that kind of energy that's coming through. I'm saying that because this Buddha face that's showing between the trees here, and with that like Buddha consciousness being like the all consciousness or the one consciousness, the thing that is no thing. Okay. Okay. And this is a very different energy to come up. If you notice, we have all these pastel colors, and then we're ending with this very bright, bold sort of energy. And we have the root showing up again here with the red, and then we have the solar plexus, which represents our sort of sovereignty. And then we have this sort of murky purple. And this is really waking up. I don't feel that this is like a truly activated connection just yet, as in terms of like a cosmic connection with people. It's a connection that's beginning to wake up. It's like rising out of those unconscious spaces of the earth, and it's starting to wake up. Probably in a very profound way for somebody. This is also changing our perception here. It's almost like when I see, because those look like eyes to me, that's why I'm saying it. And if you notice, this also looks like a tree. So we have this whole motif that's kind of working through this reading, that understanding yourself as, you know, what is above ground is basically gathering the nourishment for what is below ground. And what is below ground is the consciousness. So it's like understanding that your true self is much more than your conscious self. Your true self, you know, your conscious self is great. It's amazing. Is what we're doing here, right? It's the happening thing. But your consciousness is also where the labels are housed, where the categories are housed, where like the misidentifications are housed. It's, you know, the part of us that like we have to have all those things in order to function in the 3D. And spirituality is just like a mirror of that, right? That everything below that is where those things no longer exist. And somebody here is tapping into that space, and through that space, that's where they're bringing out this cosmic sort of connection with humanity. We can think of this as like, you know, Carl Jung's quote, making the darkness conscious. This is kind of the energy that I'm getting here. It's not that we're trying to make it the same as a conscious mind. It's that we're becoming more aware. Someone is diving into that layer to become more aware. And in so doing, they're reclaiming their sovereignty. It's almost bringing me into the idea within the Major Arcana. If you're interested in concepts like this inside the Major Arcana, I do cover the Major Arcana in the channel memberships. The second half I do in the alchemical layer. The first half I cover a mythological layer. But it's making me think of how we covered in the last half the Red King drowning and being resurrected, that in order to rise and to be purified, one must descend. And that's kind of, you know, sacrificing of oneself and descending. And this is kind of what I'm seeing here. It's like whoever this message is for, you've gone into the deep roots. You've gone into yourself, gone into the deep roots. And as if you spend time in those darker spaces of self, and in that depth of self, you have blossomed in some way. And this blossoming is the reclamation of some sort of self-authority, self-power, self-sovereignty that is now allowing you to step into this cosmic connection with others, because that cosmic connection can't be entertained if we're disempowered. When we're disempowered, we're always in a victim state. And we're always pointing fingers at other people. We always react out of anger or, you know, betrayal, or all those energies that really represent that we aren't the sovereign one in a situation. And obviously there's situations where we're not, right? But most people go about every single situation inside their life feeling that way, that life is something that's constantly happening to them, that their human interactions are constantly things that are happening to them. And someone who has descended into the deep roots, they understand the role that they're playing. They understand that it's a co-creation in most situations, not all situations. And whoever this message is for, you've gone through that. You've discovered, again, going back to yesterday's reading, kind of that space of sovereignty, that space of sacredness within the self. And you've gone through that initiation, and you've come out the other side. And now this cosmic energy is opening up because you've reclaimed your power as a sovereign individual, as a sovereign part of a whole. Okay, one more card. Ooh. This is like okay, so I feel that before people go through this process, they hear the word darkness and it means something bad to them. It's something evil. It's something, you know, misaligned. Someone who's gone through this process, they hear darkness and they hear beauty. There's something beautiful and alive inside those spaces that you previously were not unconscious, or that you were previously not conscious of. And it's like someone has partnered with those spaces because now we can see it. I'm seeing this like as a face of a creature. There's the nostrils, there's the eyes, and inside the eyes, it's the reflection of a person. It's a reflection of yourself. So it's someone understanding that their 3D version of themselves is but a reflection of that deepest, darkest aspect of self, which is unconscious to them. And I love that this is sitting over this energy here, because this is really feeling a little bit like the Shiva energy for me right now. And just because it's almost like Buddha has arisen from it. And it's a very beautiful energy. And there's something here about being able to sit in those still, quiet spaces and understand what the reflection is saying to you. When we partner with this energy, we are more aligned with our intuition, not intuition in the way that most people think. And I'm not gonna explain it too much, because again, this is a reading. It's a reading that's confirmation for people who it's meant for. So if it's meant for you, you already know what I'm talking about, and it would not mean anything if you haven't gone through this anyway. So there's certain things that you have to experience for yourself for them to even make sense. But this is that type of deep intuition where you understand that there's a speaker that doesn't have to utilize our senses. They don't have to utilize, the common like sixth sense sort of ideologies that we hold on to inside the spiritual community. It's something deeper than that. And whoever this message is for, it's like you listen to that. You understand when it's speaking. You understand what it's saying. You may not always understand why. You may not always understand the context, but you understand when it's trying to get your attention. We've come into partnership with a deeper part of self here, rather than suppressing it, which is what we do normally before we've come to this space, because we don't really understand when it's speaking. We think it's just us, or we think it's just this quiet little voice in the background, or a quiet little nagging in the background. And this is where we've seen it. It's like I'm staring at it and it's staring at me, and together we're co-creating reality. So this is a very interesting energy to come through this table, because it's a little bit more how do I want to put this? I don't want to say deeper, because there's been a lot of deep sort of readings. This is like the entrance to the mysteries. And someone has gone a little further than I typically have the readings come out as going, where we've gotten a little bit deeper into that collective unconscious to really understand the information that's coming through and moving through the collective, and when it's speaking, when it's not speaking, able to stand back and see the great movements through people as, oh, this is the energy that's venting. This is the thing that's trying to heal itself within the collective. It's like someone here is a tender of the earth in many ways. Whether you may think of yourself that way or not, if I say you're a tender of the earth, you might be able to step back and be like, oh my God, I am. It doesn't mean that you garden, that you go out and you do all the planting. It just means that you're tending to the energy of the earth, which sometimes happens in very surprising ways, ways that like we're not always considering. And some of you may resonate with practicing shamanism or practicing some sort of earth-based religion because of that. And I'm seeing that there's this beautiful grounding energy, but there's this gold coming in as well. So this is that sort of cosmic energy center that's filtering down. It's like we're channeling finally heaven and earth. I think that with the earth energy, because of the great movements of society through, I don't know why great movements keeps coming up. So I'm just going to point that out because I noticed that keeps coming out. We've been cut off from this sort of, there's the divine, and then there's earth, and then there's space, and there's earth, and, heaven, and then there's earth, and like spirituality and 3D. And whoever this is, it's like you're recognizing that those two things being separate is the misalignment. And so you're bringing them together within yourself. And this is beautiful. So I'm going to leave this here. Whoever's message this is, feel free to leave a comment, and feel free to like the video. And until next time.